and good afternoon to everyone joining this session of Fat Talks. My name is Farah and I am your moderator for this session. For today, we are excited to have this enthusiastic speaker join us today, and we hope all of you will have your day re-energized after the afternoon with us. Before we begin, I would like to share some house rules, okay? Please have your mics and videos turned off throughout this session. But you can turn those on if you'd like to directly ask a question to Dr. Airil, but only after the talk, okay? Second, please mind your language in the chat box. No inappropriate content is allowed. Right, time to pass the stage to Dr. Andy, who will be introducing our speaker for today. All yours, Dr. Andy.
Thank you, Farah, for that introduction. And yeah, it gives me great pleasure and an honor to welcome Dr. Airil. He's going to be talking with us today about the fourth industrial revolution, and change is now. Just briefly, he is currently head of Center of Studies and senior lecturer at Mara. He has a CV that is 50 pages long. I also noticed from his CV, I'm not going to read out the whole CV, don't worry. That will be the end of the talk. He's worked at a few schools that in the UK that I worked at as well. Good Primary School in Coventry, Rugby Public School. I lived next door for many years as well. University of Leicester. Also, I've worked there too. He's received many awards, not least of which for Best Speaker, Best Orator. He's received or he's made 200 plus appearances on TV and the media, and he's written well over 600 academic journals. He's an amazing man, an amazing speaker. Really looking forward to his talk. It gives me, as I said, great pleasure now to pass the mic and the camera over to Dr. Airil. Welcome aboard, and thank you for coming and giving us a talk today.
Thank you so much. Am I online now, please?
You are, yes.
Thank
the
you.
mic and camera is yours.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Professor Andy. You were in the Midlands, or you lived in the Midlands?
I did. Yes. Yeah. I lived in Rugby for many years. Went to school there. Worked in rugby school. In fact, I was friends with the people that ran rugby school, and I used to exercise their horses every day.
So yeah, someone from the past then, orang kampung in Malaysia, yeah, we call it orang kampung, someone from the village. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am actually very scared to be on this stage, even though it's in my house, in my bedroom. The stage is set because the last person you called in was Professor Jomo Kwame Sundaram, who is my academic idol. So I am so scared because you put the bar up so high that definitely I cannot catch up to that guy. He is my idol. And again, thank you again, Professor Andy. Thank you, Miss Farah. And thank you, Miss Kavita, for the initial contact and the invite. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Airil, and I will be your guide today for the next few minutes, about 1 hour. About 1 hour, where we will talk about the fourth industrial revolution, but this version will be the coffee shop version. Yeah, it's the simple version. Let's not get too technical. We can get very technical into this topic, and I like how Miss Farah introduced me just now, very enthusiastic. Okay, I'm now trying to control my hands, because normally when I talk the hands also go up, then I'll hit my mic over here. So I'll try to control myself, because I get quite excited whenever I talk about IR40. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you Help University for this kind invite. Thank you again for tuning in to the show. Well, Fat Talk. Yeah, Fat Talk. Nice. It's something like TED Talk, but fat style. Right. Okay. So let's talk about the fourth industrial revolution. From what we can gather, not what we can gather. Actually, it's actually already happening now. So when you say change is now, it's actually now. It's already happening. Right. So our focus today will be on three main topic areas. The first we'll be talking about the social side of it, the society side. And then, of course, we'll be talking about the educational side, a little bit of that. And finally, about the young people. And I guess all of you out there, you are quite young people. I can see your names there. So your names suggest that you are young. I have no idea, cannot see you. But never mind. Uh, we'll talk about that. So three topic areas, three main topic areas. We'll make it a bit informal. I don't want to be too formal. That will be Professor Jomo. He's the expert. So I'm the copy of the original. So let this copy talk to you about IR40, right? So let's get the stage started and let me show you a little bit of the slide. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just shared my slide with you. It's on emails. You can actually access that on your mobile devices, and it's there. It will be virtually there until the end of this presentation. Yeah, right. You can just watch that if you like a copy. You can actually print it out also if you feel the need for it. But never mind. Now let's go. Let me take you on this journey. Uh, Thank you, Faculty of Arts and Communication, Help University of Malaysia. Really love to be here. Big shoes to fill in. You call Professor Jomo Kwame Sundaram, and now it's Airil's turn, the small guy from Perak. Hello, if you're from Ipoh, Perak, and you're my friend. Okay, let me begin with this. I love this, love so much this quote from Mr. Hurt Leonhardt, world leading futurist thinker. Humanity is changing more in the next 200 years, 20 years, more in the next 20 years than in the previous 300. Right. The next 20 years, starting from 2020 and beyond, right, we will be seeing a lot of changes. Changes that will be happening, which is equal to or more than whatever happened in the last 300. So basically, when you talk about the fourth industrial revolution, this is it. Changes. Some of you have heard about the VUCA world, VUCA. Check that out. Check that out. Google VUCA, and then you'll find out more about what era we are living in right now. Yeah. So now things are looking good. Yeah, things are looking good. It's looking great. But will it be good for everyone? That's the question. I'll be raising quite a number of questions today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I don't have the answers to that. Because why? Why? Because the changes are still happening. But there are good possibilities, good, very positive possibilities. At the same time, we see debilitating limitations. There are a lot of limitations, a lot of problems that we need to settle. If we really want the fourth industrial revolution, or IR40, to actually bring positive changes to our society. Okay, so will the positive changes brought by IR40 be felt by one and all? Will it be felt to someone like me living in Ipoh, Perak? Will it be felt to someone like you living in KL? How about our friends living in Sabah or Sarawak? Will it be felt in the same way? Will IR40 be the game changer? We've been waiting for changes to happen for many years already. Is this it? This is it. Is this the momentous event that we're waiting for, where changes happen and the world gets better and everyone lives happily ever after? Well, we'll see. Never mind. Let's listen to what Mr. Leonhardt has to say.
We are at a pivot point in history. Humanity will change more in the next 20 years than in the 300 years before. Technology is now the defining factor of our society. We will be able to travel virtually to the most amazing places directly from our living room or using our mobile devices. Billions of devices and objects will be connected in the Internet of Things. Soon, technology is moving inside of us, becoming a part of us. Our contact lenses will be connected to the Internet, and nanobots will be in our bloodstreams, fixing our cholesterol. Life will be magical, abundant, full of possibilities. What could be better? Because we know, don't we, that what makes us human will never change. I know what you're thinking. Connectivity is like oxygen. We need it to live. even at the price of losing our privacy? Your connected car, your smart fridge, your wearables will talk to your doctor and your insurance company. Yes, indeed, data is the new oil. These exponential changes are unstoppable. Man and machine will converge. We are about to transcend humanity. Is it creepy or useful? Is it heaven or is it hell? What will it mean to be human in a world where everyone will need to be amplified or augmented by algorithms? By 2027, computers are likely to match the capacity of the human brain, perhaps even reach some kind of awareness or emotional intelligence. Yes, artificial intelligence and cognitive computing are incredibly powerful. But if we fail to consider the unintended consequences, such as, for example, an intelligence explosion, these advances could be more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Why would we expect robots or artificial intelligence to share or even understand human values, ethics, and emotions? Technology doesn't have ethics, but the future of humanity depends on it. We need to spend just as much time on the norms and the values and the context than we spend on technology itself. After all, the future is not just something that happens to us, the future is something that we create. Are you ready for your future shock? Come with me and see where the story takes us next.
The changes are already happening. You see the changes around you. After this, I'll reiterate some of the changes that you will see. I know I'm talking to young people in front of me now, even though I cannot see you. Now, one of the things you love to do is you love to go to the movies, right? Yes, we do. You love to go to the cinema. But as you notice, the next time you go to the cinema now, you don't see anyone working at the cinema except you see automated ticketing booths where there are no one there. You just put in your card and then you select where you want to sit. Even things that you can order, your food and drinks, can be done automatically. The same thing is happening when you go to McDonald's again, right? You don't see people. Lesser and lesser people are working. If you go to Changi Airport, you will see those cute robots working, cleaning the airport. You don't see human cleaners. Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? It is. It is. It's lovely. It's lovely. Technology is here helping us. But at the same time, the question is, are we ready when our jobs get taken over by robots? Right. So because of that, I like what Japan is doing. So when we talk about IR40, let's talk a little bit about Society 5.0. So Society 5.0 is Japan's concept of a technology-based, human-centered society. So this is part of the fourth industrial revolution, but the way Japan is playing this game is it's making society the focus and not technology itself. All right, let's watch this. This is a nice, very short video. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kind audience, you have access to my presentation. You can just watch that on your mobile devices or your computers anytime. You have the link. It's in the Microsoft.
In Japan, innovation has been transforming our society, in which people can extend human ability. For example, a technology which improves our performance. With new wearable interfaces which analyze wearers' movement using AI and accumulate the techniques of great performers as electrical stimuli, wearers may play like great performers due to the stimuli sent by interfaces to wearers' muscles. Telexistence technology realizes our own avatar robots in practical use, enabling us to see, hear, and feel beyond time and distance, as though we were there. Assistive suits, which read wearers' wills by receiving biological signals sent from the brain to the muscles, support users' heavy lifting work. The suits reduce the user's burden and let us handle heavy work much more safely and comfortably. advanced technology will support a variety of activities and improve our lifestyles. Japan aims at realizing Society 5.0, a technology-based, human-centered society.
Technology-based, human-centered society. But if you notice and you read the newspaper last month, we found out that the latest UNICEF UN FPA study shows that Malaysia's urban poor students are struggling to keep up with their peers post-MCO. So that was on Monday, the 24th of August. The report shows that urban low-income families face higher rates of unemployment and experience greater challenges in healthcare and home-based learning. So we can imagine all the possibilities, and the possibilities look great. You see those robots, you see that adaptive techno suit, and you see VR learning. I am involved, by the way, in VR research and 360-degree video research, VR experiences. I can tell you the possibilities are there. But at the same time, there are many, many societal limitations that we have to think about. Right. So that's the big picture. It looks great on paper, and it is great because it's already happening. You like it or not, it's already happening. Whenever you access your smartphone, your smart devices, when you are connected to the internet, and we are today connected to the internet all the time, yeah. Nobody switches off their data anymore, except maybe if you have to pay like for daily data rates. But again, what is happening is you see a great divide happening, whereby what will happen to people who do not have access to technology. Now, this young people, you guys will be the ones changing Malaysia, and not just Malaysia, but you'll be working in the ASEAN region, in the Asian region after this, and you will be traveling the whole world. This is up to you, up to the young people to make changes so that really what will happen due and because of IR40 will be something which is positive and something which we have been waiting to happen for like since the dawn of humanity. It's a tall order, I know. It's actually hoping for a lot to happen, but well, we have hope. I have high hopes in the young people, especially our young Malaysians. All right, let's move on. Let's not get too emotional there. So let me tell you what is happening now is we are actually in Education 5.0. Education that addresses the realities of globalization, challenges of globalization, cultural change, telecommunication technologies, and of course, if you talk about IR40, you cannot run away about, technology. Technology is part of it. Everything is happening because of technology. Not just in Malaysia, but in other ASEAN nations also, we are very sad. We went to sleep during the first day of 2020, being very happy, very hopeful that 2020 will be a wonderful year. Please treat us great, we said. We were having fun, making jokes about flying cars. Suddenly, we got COVID-19. So, if change is now, because the future is already here, what will be the actual future? There is a great disconnect. We are disconnected. Young people are now disconnected from older people because of technology. I'll explain a little bit more after this. The poor are getting disconnected from the rich, and many divides that we see even before the pandemic happened. What is happening now is because of the pandemic, these gaps are becoming wider and wider. This is the time for the great reset. So when you say change is now, IR40 is now, yes, this is the time. Due to the pandemic, we are very sudden. Yeah, we are not happy at all. This is a tragedy to humanity. But at the same time, we can reset everything again. This is the time, this is the possibility to do a great reset, and this is where we depend on the young. We need you. You young people must step up. You must step up and make all the good changes that us old people haven't been able to do. So we are very hopeful, and we think that you can do it. I think you can do it. Right. So three things. Let's talk about the social and societal changes. Yeah. Number one, you see connectedness in everything. Every single thing. You've got intelligence systems, you got bots, etc. I've talked just now about automation of manual labor and work. At the cinemas, you see this. At fast food joints, you see this. And even now, this is technology, man. Yesterday, I was talking to a group of people in Roma, Italia. We had an online conference, and today I am in at Help University in KL, even though I am actually in Ipoh Perak. So this is again, it's excellent. It's excellent. So when we talk about technology, also IoT, Internet of Things, and all that. We've got another side of that. Another technology is called bots. You've got Telegram bots. You've got bots on websites doing service side work. For example, Ava. I think Ava is working for AirAsia. Bots get very annoying after a certain point because they don't know the next thing to talk to us about. But at the same time, because of natural linguistic programming, bots are getting better and better. And people like me, some of us, we are the computational linguists. What we do is we try to program that. So one day, and if you've been reading about deep fakes, DEEP, fakes, FAKES, what will happen is one day we will not be able to distinguish between a real person and a bot. So an excellent possibility for the future. When you see TV presenters, and then I saw just now you do broadcasting and all that, lovely. What happens when you have a digital broadcaster? So these are deep fakes, yeah, and they are coming to get us in media. Another word. I used to love the word gig economy. Used to. I used to love the possibility of the gig economy, especially as it provides opportunities for you, young people. You've got a lot of opportunities now. Opportunities that were not present to me. I am not that young anymore. I'm 44, by the way. So during my time, we don't have gig economy. We have gigs. You go to gigs. People play music, and then you go home. And everyone everyone goes to gigs to have fun, to listen to music. You enjoy after 2-3 hours, then you go home. That's it. And the band goes to the next gig, and so on, so forth. So that's the gig economy. After one gig, you go to the next gig. You go to the next gig. It's excellent because you do not have any contracts. You do not have any long-term contracts when you work in a company. You don't work like me. I've been working in my institution for like 20 years. So there is a high possibility also I'll be working and I'll be retiring in the same institution. Either that or I die first in the same institution. So that is for people like me. For people like you, for the young, the gig economy now means that long-term contracts are becoming more and more common. It's good, but it's bad. Why is it good? It's good because if you're unhappy, then you can just move on. Go to the next company. Company A doesn't treat you right. You don't like it, go to company B. You don't like company B and A, you go to company C. You don't like A, B, C, you go to a different country. You go to a different country because you are a gig worker. And it's good because you get to decide how to work, when to work, and it's not bad. We see a lot of members of the gig economy now. You see them, you call them pandas. Yeah, those cute pink pandas. The pink pandas going around helping us, getting us food. You see Grab. Yeah, Grab riders, Grab cars, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere. So it's good. And I think some of you have experience doing that. You should try that. Yeah, to give you some extra income. But again, the word is extra income. If you want to get a lot, it means you have to work more. But if you have to work more, where is the balance in terms of your life and living? So the good thing about the gig economy is its freedom. The bad thing about the gig economy is insecurity. You get insecure. There is no long-term security in your work. When you as you grow older, You don't feel it now, but when you get to 20, 30, you want 30 plus and all, you want stability in your life, right? Naturally people get married, and then naturally people have children, and by that time you want more stability. But as a gig worker, that stability is, well, can you get that kind of stability when you have short-term contracts? It's common now to have very short-term contracts. Like for myself, I deal with young people, young lecturers who have 5 months of short-term contracts. And after that, they rest for 1 month. If we need them again, we'll call them like a gig. We like you. Your music is excellent. Come back next week. Oh, sorry, next semester. Right? So that's always the concept with gigs. If you do a good gig, well, if you're lucky enough, then people will call you again. But again, where is the security in that? So this is a very big challenge, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and something that you really, really need to think about. How do you try to find long-term, long contract jobs when the world is moving into a gig economy? Other social and societal changes. Will the rich gain more from IR40? Of course. Of course. What happened during the pandemic is glove makers, rubber glove makers, they suddenly become rich. And according to the people, to the factory owners in the People's Republic of China, printing face masks now, making face masks, the face mask, that annoying face mask that you have to wear now, that is like printing money. Making face masks is like printing money. So people who already have factories and all that, they benefit a lot. People like us, not too much. Now, how about young people living in remote regions? You know Viviana? Of course you do. If you don't know, then Google. Find her on Twitter. We talk about her a lot on Twitter. So how about people like Viviana, right? And to tell you the truth, also, I was having a lot of problems with my own student. Not problems, trying to help them deal with the problems of e-learning, remote teaching, and remote learning during the MCO. During the MCO, it was really, really sad when I saw that some students had to actually drive out from their houses, even though they live in big cities. Not too bad. Cities like Alostar, some of them live in Penang, actually, in Penang, where there are certain areas that you can't get any good 4G reception. So they actually get 3G or even lesser than that. Yeah, GPRS only. So what they had to do is they have to drive out somewhere, to a different area just to get cell reception, telephone reception. So that is just crazy. It's just crazy. You talk about IR40, you see robots, you see telematics, you talk about bots and all that, but at the same time, the access is not 100%. So, another question. Are technological tools getting really so cheap and available to one and all? Is it for real? Yeah, maybe for most of us, yeah. For most of us, getting a smartphone is a given. Everyone has a smartphone now. You don't see public phones anymore, do you? You don't, right? Because we've scrapped them, we've thrown them away because we think that we hope that everyone has a smartphone. And my Sejahtera, without your smartphone, you can't use that app. Right. So are technological tools like smartphones, are they getting cheaper? Yeah, they are getting cheaper, right? They are getting cheaper. 6 GB, 128 GB memory, 6 GB working memory RAM. How about VR technology? Okay, like talking about VR technology, if you're interested in VR, as you know, Quest 2 is already out. Shipment will start next month. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're into gaming, if you're into virtual reality gaming, the Quest 2 is out next month. And it's getting actually cheaper because the first time Quest 1, the original Quest was released about 2 years back, it was released at 499 USD. Now it's 399 USD for 256 GB. Okay, let's not get too technical there. I get very excited when I talk about VR. But the point is, it's getting cheaper. But again, is $400 cheap in terms of technology? if you're just using it for playing games. If you want to use it for teaching and learning, you have what? How many people are there in your lecture groups? Maybe a small lecture group will be what? 10, 12, 15. You have more than that if you have a whole hall of students. Should we buy them for everyone? Oh, God. Then the university will definitely get bankrupt. So, can we really, really, really benefit from all these changes? I don't know. But again, like I said, this is the Great Reset. And we hope that you young people can do something about this. If this is a reset, then reset the world into something which is positive, something which is good. Be the change. Be the change. Help people without access to technology, for example, help them to get technology. We need you to go into that kind of research, for example. This is a time for skills, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I've talked about that near the end of this presentation. This is a time for skills. You need skills, and one of the key skills you need now will be digital skills. Digital skill. The more you have digital skills, the better you will become. And the more ready you are to face the future. Okay. See this.
In the next few years, I expect the digital transformation of life to bring huge changes. Everything from science to healthcare to sensors to robotics.
Whether it's information technology and the acceleration we see in artificial intelligence, you just look across the board and you can see a lot is happening.
It's really the notion of digital technology pervasively impacting every walk of life in every vertical industry on all parts of the globe.
The speed is mind-boggling. What I'm particularly concerned about it is how little the world is prepared for the fourth industrial revolution.
If we are not innovative, if we're not creative enough, it will be very difficult to survive in this century.
Countries in emerging markets should take the lead. Mobile platforms will define how fast the fourth industrial revolution will be embraced by the countries.
It's very difficult to try to bridge the gap between a borderless industrial revolution that's being governed by different policies and regulations in each territory and country.
We're always looking for new technology and how it makes the process more efficient, how it makes the quality higher. But one of the things that it's really creating is a need for those that have a technical background.
52% of the encounters with our primary care physicians were handled virtually. Just a massive change.
The technologies available today to scientists, to clinicians, and to everyday people will impact and change healthcare forever.
Humans and machines are assisting each other, augmenting each other with skills.
Humanity itself will be changed with this superintelligence, and we are at the doorstep of that era.
World Economic Forum is in the best position to meet a lot of these challenges that Fourth Industrial Revolution is going to bring.
The opening of the San Francisco Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution really provides a useful platform to bring together the smartest brains who are right at the leading edge of this technology.
I deeply believe in this idea of cross-fertilization. Good ideas come less from inside brilliant people's heads and more from seeing patterns.
We have to think about things quite a bit differently. That's why I'm so excited about what's happening right here in San Francisco, to be able to have a multi-stakeholder dialogue around the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
My hope is that we have a robust discussion for how this can truly help our world solve some of the hard-pressed challenges that we have today.
The world has changed. We can never, ever go back to yesterday.
All right. What are the possibilities? Let me show you in terms of the second area. So the second area that we'll be talking about is educational and learning changes. Right? Educational and learning changes. Once upon a time, this is how we used to study online. If you look at the red corner, the red boxes, you will see we've got online modules. It's not really online. Your lecturers, your tutors, your instructors, they just put things online on PDF, make it a PDF, and then you just click there, and then the PDF comes down. And you call that online learning once upon a time. Right? It's the same thing with research guide blogs. Yeah, web blogs. We call them blogs. I used to read blogs. Do you guys read blogs now? Do you? Seriously? Do people actually still update blogs? Textual posts, you got posts also coming in. Wikis, I think wikis are still useful and usable now, but posting on blogs and all that, I don't know. Maybe that's a dying tradition. I don't know. Maybe. But in terms of textual posts, writing, that's still on, because media, again, digital media is booming like crazy during IR40. Now, then you've got the green zone, you got podcasts and all that. Yeah, we love podcasts now. You know, Ais Kacang, you got podcasts, online audio clips. And in the middle, when you go to the purple area, you've got infographics, static. And now we've got interactive infographics. So that's the new technology. Screencast, simple animation. And I love this one. Again, this is our research area, so me and my teammates. 60-second explainer videos. Because once upon a time, we love 3 hours and 2 hours lectures, but somehow we feel that with the younger generation, I think you are Generation Z. Some of you are Generation Z, some of you are actually Generation Alpha, I think. So you guys prefer things to be compact, short, simple. What you guys do is you will be the ones who expand on that. During my time as an uncle, right, as an uncle, old person, during my time, we used to have very, very thick textbooks. We have thick textbooks, and those textbooks, what we do is we have to memorize everything in there. And at the end of the day, from that very, very thick textbook, we come up with 2-3 pages or 5-6-7 pages of answers during our test exams. Nowadays, it's turned upside down. What I'm supposed to do now, I'm supposed to give you the most basic stuff, but you guys will be the ones who will expand on it. And this is one of the greatest achievements of young people. Sorry, all lecturers, all instructors, all tutors, if you do not realize this, then you are a dinosaur. You're a dinosaur. You're a dinosaur. Because what our students are able to do now is they can take very, very simple ideas and they can expand on that. And this is why you see 60-second explainer videos becoming very, very common. Anything longer than that, not very much. And even you've got even 30-second videos, 45-second videos, 60 seconds or less. And within that 60 seconds or less, you gain so much already. This is very funny because once upon a time, there's this American show, I think it's called 60 Minutes. But now in 60 seconds, they can give you the world. Okay? And then in the blue corner now, blue box, you've got games, votes, online polls, and all that. Gamified learning, I know you love that. You love games. If you haven't got that, you can ask your tutor, lecturer, instructor, please, sir or miss, can we have games, please, in our class? Yeah. So gamified course-based assessments, even assessments now, can be in the form of games. And on the orange corner, the last box, that will be my own personal interest area, my own research area. Got 360 immersive videos, we got VR environments and AR. So this is it. Because of the fourth industrial revolution, we are moving into the orange corner very, very quickly. Just to show you some examples, let's forget the theory. And there you go. This is a 360 video. Video camera. That's my Insta360 One X. They've got a new one out now. It's Insta360 One R, I think. So you may like to get that if you love doing 360 videos. I see you guys do broadcasting, you do videoing and all that. So this is, I don't have to talk about that. I think you guys are better. You guys know about 360-degree videos, yeah? You can look up and down, 3 degrees of freedom, up, down, left, right. Then, of course, we have this in terms of learning. Because of IR40, because the change is already happening, we've got VR. It's a matter of taste. Do you like it? You don't like it? It's actually, it's also about your physical reality. Can you actually put it on your head and then use it for anything longer than 5 or 10 minutes? Can you actually use it for 1 hour or 2 hours? Then be up to you. I can't. I think even though I'm a developer, I'm a content developer, I can stick my head into that thing for about 15, 20 minutes, half an hour at the most, and I'll be getting headaches already. It's even worse for ladies because what it does is it ruins your beautiful hair. Okay, and we have AR. That's nice. If you play Pokemon Go, you know AR, right? Let's not talk about that so much. So this is it. So what is happening is, unbelievably, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it looks like our students, our Malaysian students, I actually surveyed 560 students all around Malaysia, asking them about new technologies, yeah, AR, VR, 360-degree videos and all that. And when we ask them, are you ready for this? They are ready. They are ready. Students like you are ready for education 4.0, 5.0. But the problem is, our instructors, tutors, and lecturers are not there yet. So the challenge is not so much for the young people, but for the older people to work with the young people to come up with contents that will be relevant for young people that goes beyond the textbook. And if you know, and I know you guys, some of you must be doing mass media and all that, you know that print media is dying or already dead. Yeah, we are very saddened with the news. If you know Blue Ink used to be one of the biggest magazine companies in Malaysia. It does very good magazines. I wrote hundreds of articles for them, for Blue Ink, since year 2002. But now, because of the pandemic, it has hastened the death of print media. And we see that not just in Malaysia, but also all across the world. So again, the challenge for us, if you are an instructor, you're a tutor, you're a lecturer, and you're listening to this, let's become content developers. We need to develop learning contents for our eager to learn students who need technology. Why? Because they were born into technology. Digital technology is part of their lives. That 2 hours, 2 hour, 3 hour lecture doesn't work anymore. That concept doesn't work anymore, by the way, because what we do is we give you the very basic, we give you the points, the main points, the summaries, but you guys will be coming out with all these great ideas, expand on whatever we say. And that is the future of teaching and learning due to IR40. Okay. Moving on. Okay. One thing we notice now, and I've got a great discussion going on with some friends on a research website. We've got this research website called ResearchGate. We got some peers from all over the world. So one of the topic that we were talking about is, should the future lecturer, future tutor, future instructor be a teacher or an entertainer? Should you become a lecturer or an entertainer? Actually, we have to become both. This is what I did. So during MCO, I had to teach 207 degree students. Yes, 207, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine the hell that was like, not for me, but also for them? Because they only have to face me for about 2 hours per week, but they have to face their other lecturers, other tutors, other professors and all that. So it became like working from home became working constantly. And I like the point that people are starting to question, where does home start and work end? Where does home end and work start? Especially like me, I'm actually working out of my bedroom. So when do I stop working? But never mind. So the point is, how do I still engage? How do I still make sense to my students and connect to them during a very, very difficult time during the MCO? And students, of course, you guys being students, young people, you always have questions to ask. But it gets annoying after a time whereby 207 students will be asking the same questions again and again. And for someone like me, even though I don't sleep, I'm actually Batman. I sleep. I don't sleep actually. I sleep during the day. I'm still up at 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning trying to answer the same question. So what I did is, I came up with something like this to teach my students and to give information. I'm on Twitter also, by the way, because I know my students don't read emails. God, they do not read emails at all. So any and all instructions came through Twitter. because it was so fast. We don't use WhatsApp also. It's just like all the learning, all the explanation came through Twitter. And of course, we use Google Classroom to manage and a lot of the short clips. Okay.
One of your friends asked me, teach our trio's office problem given by you is entitled community donuts, but we still don't understand how are the donuts related to office problems, especially for English for professional communication. Come on, teach, it's donut lah, teach. Actually, there are several angles or perspectives or areas for you to focus on to approach that topic. For example point one, people who share food at the office, but people just eat it, creating tension and maybe even fighting in the office. Example point two, the practice of potluck to share food in the office. How does this help to increase cooperation in the office? Example point three, even in the office, we should really eat healthy food, not just donuts because they have high sugar and high calorie, making us sleepy and lazy in the office. Ini baru 3 je point, angles of perspective. So for test number 4, you and your pair or trio really need to broaden your mind and focus not on the issue of donuts, but thinking about the office issues because this is part of the test. Thinking about the issue is part of the test. All the best. Assalam.
Okay, thank you. That is supposed to be me. Okay, an annoying version of me. Actually, less annoying because I'm more annoying in real life. But the point of that is to show you the possibilities of the future. That is my avatar, but this is a longer process where I had to post-process my voice to match that with the avatar video. This is not a normal AR emoji, no. And then post-process that 2 times, pre-process the voice, post-process the video. If you're into post-production, you understand how it's like. And this came out. But unbelievably, let me take a little breath there. Unbelievably, it's this kind of videos that actually engage my students more than me going online for 2 hours at a time, giving a lecture on and on and on and asking everyone, "Oi, switch on your video. Switch on your video. I need to see your face. Hey, switch on your video, but switch off the mic. Switch off the mic. Switch on the video, but switch off the mic." Other than that, can you imagine? Because in one class, for example, I've got 35 of them. If that happens all the time, then it gets so tiring, not just for me, but also to them. So this kind of information, this kind of teaching, we give them the very basic information. We give them the most simple of instructions, and then they expand. Then we communicate, we guide them. This is the future of teaching and learning due to the technologies that we have from IR40. Right. Oh God, it's 12:59. Okay. So we've got the technologies, but now we desperately need the educators as content developers and learning technologies. Yeah, content developers and learning technologies. If you're a lecturer, you're an instructor, you're a professor, you're a doctor, gentlemen, ladies, kind peers, my most respected peers, I had to learn that also from the very beginning. Yeah, I did. I am very much inclined to use technologies. I love technology so much. But in terms of engaging with our students, somehow we need to have those basic skills, those basic content developing skills, learning technology skills. We need to have that. We need to develop that. We need to learn and upskill reskill and upskill ourselves so that we come to the level of our students. That kind of presentation, for example, whereby you stand in front of the class or the lecture room, where you talk for 1 hour or 2 hours at a go, while standing up, while our students are playing with their mobile phones, their smartphones, that doesn't work anymore. The concept now is not presenting or teaching, it's called storying, where we tell stories and our students love the stories and they expand on that in terms of their learning. Well, that's something to think about. Of course, you're free to criticize me. Any and all criticisms are welcome. So this is the age of possibilities, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the future of teaching and learning due to IR40. Last but not least, what will the future be like for young people? Right? What will the future be like for young people? What will the future be like for you? The most of you are young people. IR40 prefers the young. Right? Believe it or not, IR40 prefers the young. This is the time for you to rise and shine. There's a very nice article that I read. I don't know. I was trying to find it just now, but I can't. I forgot where it is because I'm old. But there's a very nice article about how in the People's Republic of China, tech companies, they are putting age limits on those selected to become CEOs and CTO, especially CTO, Chief Technological Officers. They want people who are 35 and below, for example. 35 and below. I'm out. I'm 44, man. I'm out. Even if it's 40, then I'm still out because I'm 44. So they are putting age limits on CEOs and CTOs. Why? Why? When, remember again, once upon a time, not once upon a time, the tradition is it should be the older people who should lead. But now we want the young to lead. Is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. Am I good with it? I'm good with it. No problem. I believe in the power of young people. I believe. I see the potential in young people. I used to be young also once upon a time. And I found it so hard to convince older people that I'm able to do things that I'm able to do. Right? It was a real challenge for me. It was so difficult. But now, IR40, because change is now, like the poster says, because IR40 change is now, then this is it. IR40 prefers the young. Seriously. Not lying, not making jokes or anything. This is true. Another question for the future of young people in IR40. Is university learning still relevant at this juncture? Is it still relevant to you? Yes, of course. But not in terms of you studying your textbooks. No, it's in terms of you getting the skills that you need. The key skills, the important skills from your lecturers, instructors, tutors, professors, doctors. This is the time for you to learn from their life experience, especially. Things in the textbook, that one is so easy. You can just learn that. Don't believe me? You can just ask Google. Everything is in Google, right? And in the workplace, again, I work in talent development. I work in talent development. I work in talent development for future leaders, not just young leaders, but also senior leaders in the banking industry, for example. I work with that. I do training in that for future development, upskilling, reskilling. What I found out is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the gap between the so-called juniors and the so-called seniors is getting smaller and smaller. To me, personally, and based on experience working in this field, if you got the skills, well, you're the bomb, man. You're the bomb. Go ahead. If you got the skills, you move ahead. Not just because you've got 20 years of experience, but you don't know that area, we still look up to you. We look up to you because you're old, of course. But in terms of the skills, you may have more skills than me, even though you're 20 or 21 or 22, 24. So again, IR40, because of the digital skills, right? The digital skills, the technological skills, and the way the younger generation is digitally attuned, right? Because you guys were born into technology, remember, yeah? Because of that, you got the skills, you go ahead, man. Seriously. Juniors, seniors, of course, we still respect each other because of age and all that. And yeah, we are Asians. We're supposed to respect each other. Of course, we still respect each other. But in terms of, I'm a senior, I know more than you. You're a junior, listen to me. Well, you'll see it when you see it. So this is the time. The future for young people, IR40 change is now. Actually, change is now. Future. The future is already happening. The future is now. This is the time for you to rise. It's like in the 60s, right? It's like in the 60s. You can ask your professor. In the 60s, you got the hippies. But now it's the time for the digital young people. You are more awesomer than the 60s. This is the time, the freedom, where you can actually be whatever you want to be. I know it sounds very cliched, right? But it is true. If you got the digital skills, if you are technologically attuned to what is happening around you, and believe me, IR40 prefers the young, right? People like me, older people like me, why am I still with technology? Well, one, because it's my personal interest. I love technology so much. I cannot live without technology. My second first degree. My second degree was in learning technology, learning design. That was back in 2000, year 2000. And unbelievably, at that time, the course I was doing, one of the course I love so much, is called Education, Learning, and the Future of Work. Even in the year 2000, we were already planning for what is happening now in the year 2020. But even at that time, we couldn't have guessed. We couldn't have guessed how much the world have changed, right? Because of technology. And because now, not because of just of technology, not just because of technology, sorry, but because of young people like you. So you have the potential. The potential is in you. You have the skills. Well, go ahead. The world is now yours. This is the great reset, and you can actually be whatever you want to be. Digital knowledge is worth more now than gold and oil. Heard Leonhard says now data is the new oil, yeah? And as you know, oil is getting cheaper and cheaper nowadays. At one time during MCO, during PKP, what happened was, I think the price of a liter of petrol is just about the same as the price of a liter of water. I think mineral water, something like that. I think I was laughing and laughing, but there you go. There you go. So gold, oil, and all this commodity, well, they're good. You have them good. You're still rich. But digital knowledge, what kind of knowledge? Well, the skills that you guys are learning. Yeah, you are in the School of Communication, right? So you're doing video edits. You can do online promotions. You can do online selling. Oh, content creation, multiple platforms. You know, you got Twitter, you've got Instagram, and although I hate TikTok so much, you can also use TikTok, you know, in terms of doing promotions, PR work, getting high ad value, PR value for your work. So there you go. Digital knowledge, that thing should be your focus. Gain as much digital knowledge as you can now during your time at university, right? And you're very lucky because your school is actually focusing on that. This is also the era of cuteness. You sangat cute. So you in this era of cuteness, people love cute things. They love cute things. So you see people doing cute contents online, digital contents online, digital photos, cute photos, and all that. And you know what they can do is they can actually sell that. Sorry, and make money out of it. Yeah. So this is the era of cuteness. Do cute things, right? Don't do crazy things, funny things that you will regret as you get older, as you come to my age. But you do cute things, you know, cute TikTok videos that explains how to wash your hands based on happy birthday, you know, the happy birthday song. You have to sing it twice and then wash your hands, you know. Those kind of things. Those cute things are things people like. And if you're good in digital animation, for example, or digital drawing, digital graphic, wow, this is it. This is it. This is your time to rise. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, oh my God, it's 1:10 already. I'll leave some space. If you've got any comments, ideas, criticism, please, or questions. I don't think you have any questions. Anything you'd like to say, your own ideas after this, please share them so that we can listen to you. This is now, IR40 is the era of human skills. This is the time for you to be human. Communication skills. If you see, the World Economic Forum comes out with 10 skills for the future, and it changes about every 2 years. Some of the skills include critical thinking skills, creative skills, negotiation skills, complex problem solving skills, people management. Okay, I can memorize them already because I teach that to my students, right? We do that kind of training for the 10 critical skills for the future. This is the era of human skills. Whatever you do now, even though you are studying online, you're not seeing people online, you keep those human skills, negotiate, how to talk nicely to people, be professional again, how to engage with your audience, how to correctly address people, how to promote your stuff, promote your ideas, but not getting, not stepping on people's head or trying to be annoying. Now remember, you have to be cute. This is the era of cuteness. The human skills combined with your digital knowledge, that will be the key takeaway from your university life. And trust me, even though we see a lot of changes, and Hurt was saying just now, in year 2027, most probably the computer will be as powerful as the human brain. Yeah, still, the computer is not human. You're human. I'm human. I may have a little, a few more years ahead. You have more than me, definitely. That's the natural progression of life. And I believe that, again, how I started this presentation, this is how I will end this presentation. This is the time for the young. I believe in the potential of young people for IR 40 and beyond. After this, we might have IR 50, IR 60, doesn't matter. Whatever is happening now is the key. The key. And as we see, Japan is very clever. It's moving to society 5.0. Doesn't want to focus on technology only. It wants to focus on people. People. Remember to invest in yourself. Invest. Invest in your own abilities. This is the time. Learn all this digital knowledge. It doesn't have to be formal learning only. If you've got a course, you've got an elective course on digital learning or something which has got to do with video editing or audio editing, game making or whatever, take that course. Please do, because it will be so useful for the future. Content creation is a way to make money. Seriously, it's a way to make money. We covered that in the newspaper last week. We covered that in the newspaper. People were asking, can you actually make money from digital content? Yeah, if you're a YouTuber, you know, right, what I'm talking about. If you're Insta famous, you know what I'm talking about. If you're tweet famous, you know what I'm talking about, as I pay you 10 ringgit to retweet my tweet 5 times. So possibilities are there. But the point is, again, this is the time for you to study as much as possible and apply digital knowledge, right? You and your generation and the generation coming up after this, the alpha generation, will be the key players in a digital world. Remember to be cute, be positive. Right? Enough with all those hateful comments, making negative memes and all that doesn't help. That doesn't sell. That doesn't sell. Long term, that doesn't sell. Seriously. Hate only sells for a bit, but cuteness stays forever, I think. And last but not least, focus on your human skills. Even though we are studying online, even though we are still living in a global pandemic time, we pray, we hope that somehow COVID-19, we will find a cure for this. Or if not a cure, we'll find better ways to manage and control this disease. At the same time, please, again, your human skills are needed. It's critical. This is the time. And remember, last but not least, before I pass the presentation back, the mic, I don't have a mic. Okay, so before I give my mic back to Miss Farah, this is the time for the young. This is the time for you. This is your time. We are here to guide you. And unbelievably, you are here to teach us things, digital knowledge that we don't have. Please be patient with us as we learn also with you. It's not easy for us, instructors, lecturers, tutors also. Change is fast coming. No one knew change will be this fast, but as we go online to do remote teaching, remote learning, as we go online to do working from home like now, we are adapting, but we are adapting quickly. My hope rests with all of you young people. I wish you all the very best. Thank you for listening to my ramblings today. And that's it. Thank you so much. Back to you, Miss Farah.
Dr. Airil, many thank yous for your presentation. It was insightful. It was engaging, it was interesting, it was relevant, it was fun. We do want to open up the floor to some questions. While our participants are thinking of some of the questions that they would like to ask, I've got one little one that I'd like to start with. Yes. And that is, what do you think was your biggest challenge in your transition? I know you had a lot of experience prior to COVID-19, but what was the biggest challenge for you going from traditional face-to-face teaching at the beginning of the year, and then MCO happened and you moved to online teaching? How did you deal with the transition? What was your biggest challenge in that?
Thank you so much, Professor. Well, before that, I think we were lucky because in 2019, my team and I, a team of very young people, I was the only not very young people. It's a small team of 3 people, 3 young, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 4 young lecturers, including myself. What we did was we took it upon ourselves to develop, to do things like 360 videos, 360 VR videos and all that, and we tried to upload that to YouTube and make it easier for our students to learn. At that time, it was just to support, our students' learning. But suddenly, because of COVID-19, it became central. Suddenly, it became central. This is it. Everyone relied on that for the learning part. Okay, but that was what happened. But in terms of the challenge, I think my biggest challenge, and it was something that I feel very strongly now, is how do I get more people on board? In terms of ourselves, as lecturers, as tutors, as instructors, can we have more? Can we have more people coming in? Even, I know one of the issues yesterday, I was talking to a colleague from a keynote presentation yesterday. He's from Loyola University, I think, in America. He's a guy, he's a professor who does music teaching. But the amazing thing is he was sharing how he managed to teach something as artistic as music fully online. So he was saying that, I think one of my takeaway yesterday was he was saying the only barrier in terms of technological take-up is ourselves. Are you willing to try and to fail? Yeah, of course, I failed many times. You try to upload and then something don't work. You try to develop materials, but then you see the video is okay, but the sound is so bad. Things like that happen. But how do we get more people on board? Because the young people, they're already there. They're already there and they're waiting for us, actually. I think that is the biggest challenge for myself, personally.
Great answer. I do have a question from Geeta that I will ask in a second, but one more, just building on some of the ideas you talked about in terms of your avatar presentation and sort of robotic teachers and so on of the future. Yeah. How do you think that those kind of virtual non-human teachers are going to be able to assist students that have that struggle or have mental health difficulties and so on, that might not immediately be identified without that human touch?
True. Thank you so much, Professor. I think one of the biggest failures of this working from home, remote teaching, remote learning thing was in terms of supporting special education needs students. And we understand, even though students who don't have special education needs, even though students that don't have SEN, who are not SEN, students, they were struggling. People were having anxiety attacks. I got messages at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning. Please help me teach. Can I cope? And then people are crying here and there in terms of not getting enough support. Their parents don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand what they're doing. So in terms of coming back to your question just now about using bots, in terms of education, I think one of the best things about bots is we're not there yet. We're getting there. You can use bots to actually help you to answer certain questions. For example, I teach English mostly. So English, if you got grammar questions, you don't ask me, you ask my bot, you ask my avatar. my avatar will be answering that question. And if it's a repetitive question, student A asks the same question, B asks the same question, C asks the same question, then the avatar would have learned that. It would have made the link and it will make it easier. So that's one way in terms of helping our students when we're not there. Of course, no matter how Batman we are, we can't be online all the time. We can't be teaching all the time. We need rest also. Okay, that would be one of the things that bots can help us with. Another thing about this kind of technologies, bot technologies, human-based AI technology is it's good in terms of giving exposure to students. It can lead students to certain things. You like to know more about this? Go here. Like to know more about that? Go here. Even VR, Professor, even VR. VR, we find that VR and 360-degree videos, simple things like that, what it does is it gives exposure to students who are very weak. Students who don't normally get enough exposure time in class due to, you have only 2 hours to teach a course. You only have 1 hour, for example, yeah? So you don't have enough time, and then you have 30 students in the group. So what it does is it gives exposure time to students. And more engagement from bots, the more engagement you have, the more the students will feel, they are appreciated. They want to learn. And they feel that someone is listening there. But I do have questions though. How is this technology helping students who cannot see or cannot hear? For example, that's not my area, but I would love to see how this can also help students with special educational needs. Special education. I hope that answered your question. Sorry.
Yes, great. And I particularly liked your note of people that can't see or can't hear, right, because there are additional needs that we need to find ways to cater for, whether it's through haptic devices or whatever.
Haptic, right, haptic, yes.
Yes.
True.
I would like to go to Geeta's question. I think I probably know what part of your answer was going to be, but I'm going to read you the whole question. She talks about that you mentioned academics now both need to be educators and entertainers. And she's saying, well, what if I can't entertain? Why? What if I can't be funny like you? What am I going to do?
Okay. Okay. Unbelievably, Miss Geeta, thank you for asking. In real life, people actually get scared of me. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the hair. Maybe it's because of the hair, so they get scared of me. But in truth, I am not actually. Okay. Let me go. Let me talk about myself. That I'm not actually a very extroverted person. I'm very introverted. That's why I love writing. So we introverts, we see the world and then we write. I'm actually very shy. Don't like to be on stage. Okay. And when I say that, my students all fall on the floor laughing like crazy. But in terms of becoming entertainers, I think one of the things we have to learn is in terms of engaging with Generation Alpha, Generation Z, we can't take ourselves too seriously. We can't. The way it worked, about 20, 30 years ago, the lecturer, the tutor, the professor knows everything. I'm the professor. Listen to me. Listen to me. If not, I'm going to knock your head with my stick or whatever I have. But nowadays, there are things I know, there are things I don't know. Maybe you guys have better ideas than me. So in terms of entertaining in that sense, if we make a mistake and then they laugh at us, well, join the laughter. And then wait until it's our turn to laugh at them. That's what we do to our students. So again and again, that's, to me, the joy now, the term in terms of technology, what it is doing is, because our students have so much access to knowledge and technology, they know so much more than us. And we cannot expect them to just look at us for answers. But what they look at us for is for guidance. And then in terms of supporting their learning. So it's okay not to be funny. You try to be serious. And believe me, the more serious you try to be, the funnier you will become. Trust me. The funnier you will become. Thank you.
Yeah, no, great piece of advice. Yeah, don't take yourself too seriously. And I think be prepared to take a risk. Be prepared to take a risk. Okay, let's wait for some more questions to come in. I have one more. Going back to the beginning of early on in your presentation, you were talking about the gig economy and going to gigs. Yeah, I remember, like you, going to a lot of gigs, a lot of concerts. Still do when I get the chance. But you were particularly referencing that sort of short-term contracts or no contracts, if you like, can lead to insecurity. But I also know that it's not just people with short-term contracts that have insecurity, it's people that are in full-time positions, they've been there for a long time, it's business owners going out of business, people losing their jobs. So in a sense, it doesn't matter whether you've got a short-term contract or a long-term contract. I think that insecurity in your job is prevalent amongst most people, unless you're in the box.
Yeah, right. Very true, Professor. Thank you so much. And don't forget, on the 1st of October, that's the end of the moratorium. So we expect to see even, bigger challenges happening. I don't have an answer. It's so difficult. But from what I see, talking again back about the gig economy, I work with a lot of young lecturers who are on short term. They get sad. They get sad. Do you appreciate us that much? I said, of course we do. But why can't you give us long term contracts? I said. Maybe you need to do your PhD. And then they were saying, okay, so once I finish your PhD, will you guarantee I get a job? These are difficult questions. These are difficult questions for us to answer. And again, due to COVID-19, we see even people with permanent jobs, with good jobs, they get salary cuts, 50% and all that. Do we have an answer for this? Because the way the economy has worked, is making all this divide bigger. I think you see that also. Yeah, you just see that. But at the same time, there are possibilities. One of the things I see, perhaps is just giving an idea. On the top of my head, entrepreneurship, right? People selling things online, even across the road now. I live in this area. In this area, it's in Ipoh. In the late evening, you see people, putting up stalls, selling food, banana fritters, selling whatever they can. Just not just to make ends meet, but as a way to supplement their income. I think the gig concept is good in terms of it gives us the freedom. We can pick and choose whatever we want to do. But at the same time, the bad thing is because there's that insecurity of you not having, the chance to know what will happen to me in another 2 years or 4 years or 5 years ahead. Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. I think entrepreneurship is probably the way forward, particularly if you want the possibility of making money. The gig is certainly good to supplement your income, but I don't think you're going to become super rich from that.
Right, yeah.
We have another question in.
Right.
From Datuk Khairuddin, and he asked, the current young people are a visual generation, moving pictures interest them a lot, but instructors are limited in video, audio and animation skills. How do you think a university can meet this challenge?
Thank you, Datuk, for that question. I think how are we? It's not limiting. I'm sorry, but I have to say that video, audio, animation is not limiting when you see it as separate. When you see it as separate, it becomes limiting. But if somehow there is a way to converge, to combine them together, then you can find a way to get more engagement out of students. So in terms of university teaching and learning, I'll take myself again. Our concept is we teach language. Myself, I teach communication skills, professional communication skills. So one of the things I like them to do is, in your presentation, in your online presentation, in your video, I want you to add elements of animation, that avatar, for example, at the beginning. I need you also to do a video. You have to combine that with a live video presentation of you standing up, with a different background, a real background, right? Of you presenting, storying, trying to persuade me about the point that you're making. So that are the things that we need you to do. I need you also to combine that with high quality audio. I don't want that to come from your phone only. Make some make some investment, buy a lavalier mic or something, that's what, 20 ringgit or something. Put it on your iPhone and do that. Imagine that you're a reporter. Imagine possibilities. I think so. In terms of that, we as university educators, we need to think about possibilities and teach our students to think about the possibilities. This is a time for cuteness, right? It's a time for imagination, and the more they can imagine, the more cute they can be. The more they can combine audio, video, visual materials, digital animation, and all that, the better they will become as content developers. And last but not least, in terms of content development, when I talk about content development, people think automatically YouTuber or Insta famous and all that. No, content development now is we're seeing it cutting across all sets of skills. From business skills, if you are doing business management, for example, you need to become a content developer also, to promote certain things, certain parts of your skills as a business manager. If you're doing estate management, for example, of course, you need to do a promotion, right? So all of this, you need to converge them, and it cuts across all the skills that we are teaching, no matter IT, ICT, business skill, accountancies, whatever. So converge and cut across. I think that will be the model for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Airil. And we've just about come to the end of the allocated time for the presentation. I'd like to, if possible, just end with one little question. I think many of the people watching your presentation take on board this idea of cuteness. And your cute, I have to say, avatar that you created for your online learning and teaching. And I just wanted to ask, actually, is there a site out there that sort of give templates where you can create a sort of an avatar that will move and do some basic mouth movements that you can then put a voiceover to?
Okay, thank you so much. I use Real Illusion for that. REALLUSSION. So you can get that. I think I was lucky during the MCO. They gave out quite cheap lifetime licenses. So I tried.
Oh, right.
I think that was like $19 or $29. So I said, never mind. Here's my credit card. Take it. And I tried. That's the basic version. You can actually have full motion versions of your face. And that will be the more advanced version. I think that's about $89, $79, but it's all available. And Real Illusion is available for free for students. You can try that. Yeah, it's a fun thing to do, and then fun greetings and for teaching, definitely teaching and learning.
Well, I think I talk on behalf of everybody that's listened and watched you today. It's been delightful to have you speaking to us, to our students, and it's a huge thank you, Dr. Airil. I hope the possibility that we can invite you again in the future. I hope that you're up for doing something else again within the future. But until such time, I would like to say just a big thank you again, and I'll say goodbye, but cheerio, or au revoir, as they say in France.
Thank you so much. Terima kasih, Professor. It's been a delight. Thank you, Help University. I am humble again for this opportunity. I'll see you guys, young people. See you online. I'm on Twitter. Follow me, and I'll follow you back, as always. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you, Help University. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you, Dr. Airil, for joining us today. Just like my colleague Joyce, who mentioned that you're so funny and she doesn't think that your students are ever bored in your class, and I'm sure everyone feels the same here, that we were never bored with your whole session. We were very highly entertained, and it was a really exciting talk, and just how everyone else was warmly greeting each other good afternoon. I hope everyone else is also re-energized after this session. Right, thank you so much, Dr. Airil, for joining us, and thank you everyone else for joining this session. I hope all of you join our future sessions of Fat Talks. If you'd like to provide any feedback regarding Fat Talks and Dr. Airil's session, please do click on the link that is provided in the chat box to give us some feedback. Yeah. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.